It's Ross Balch, President of Brisbane Skeptic Society here. The National Convention is less than a week away. Early bird tickets are sold out and premium tickets are selling fast. If you don't have your tickets yet, what are you waiting for? We have some amazing guests in Brian Schmidt, Joe Nicol, Eugenie Scott, Miles Power, Susan Gerbic, James Coyne, Cassandra Perryman, Loretta Maron, John Cook, Mel Thompson, Peter Ellerton, Signa Dean, Jake Farr-Wharton, Holly Warland, and panels on parenting skeptically and challenges in skepticism. Not only that, but on Friday there's a free skeptic camp and entertainment evening. There's really never been a better time to visit Brisbane and hang out with all your favourite skeptics. Go to convention.brisbaneskeptics.org now.
Welcome to the Skeptic Zone, the podcast from Australia for science and reason.
Hello and welcome to the Skeptic Zone, episode number 364. It's Richard Saunders here, just wrapping up the Shonky Awards, and we'll get to that later on in the episode. Joining me is...
Maynard here. Hello, everybody.
And Jo Alabaster. Hi.
And we're here, as I said, at the Shonky Awards. Coming up on the Skeptic Zone this week, we have an in-depth report, I think, about the Shonkies this year. Now, these are the annual awards given by Choice Magazine. It's sort of like the Australian Skeptics Bent Spoon Award or the JREF Flying Pig Award, Pegasus Award. It's for dodgy, shonky products that don't really live up to all the hype. Also, on this week's show, we have Skeptics in the Pub with our guest, Susan Gerbic, who's visiting. And a little report from you and Joe Maynard about superfoods.
That's right. We've heard a lot about kale, so we went and ate some, and, well, you wouldn't believe what we discovered. You won't believe what we discovered, as they say in the headlines.
You really shouldn't.
We really can't. I can't believe it already, and I've heard the report. So all that's coming up this week on the Skeptic Zone. Now, don't forget you can meet Maynard, Joe, me, Ran Sagiv, and Heidi, and all sorts of other people at the Australian Skeptics National Convention, which is next weekend. Maynard, we're looking forward to it.
And I'll be interviewing anybody with a mouth, so I'll see you all there.
We look forward to it indeed. But for now, it's time for us to run over and get the last of the biscuits, which I think are still on the table, while you enjoy the Skeptic Zone.
Here's Maynard's spooky action at a distance.
The crowd is rushing and pushing to try and get as much of the blueberry tarts as they possibly can. That means that it's a hungry media crowd here, hungry for the Shonky Awards 2015. We're here with the people that really count.
I'm Tim. I'm Richard. I count too.
Now, what should you be expecting this year and what usually goes on at the Shonkies? I'm hoping to get a Shonky for my entire career with the ABC. I know they gave me one. I'm hoping I can get one independently.
I think if there's anyone who deserves one, Maynard, it's you. Hands down.
Now, can you think of a couple of nominees off the top of your head that you would like to see get a Shonky this year?
I would love to see the premium wine card get a Shonky. They're not nominated, but they should be. I'd like to see the parking situation around the carriage works here in Sydney. This is the Choice Magazine Shonky Awards. They give them out every year. It's sort of like the Australian Skeptics Bent Spoon Award. So they point out things that they think are a little bit sus, a little bit dodgy, a little bit shonky, and they name them and shame them.
Now, of course, this is the kind of thing where anyone who wins doesn't really want to win, and certainly no one collects their award.
I think it's very much like the Ben Spoon, as Richard said. So far, no one has turned up on the day to collect their Ben Spoon Award, and I can't see many people here really looking forward to winning a Shonky and standing up and going, yay.
Yeah. And what I mean, these days, look, it was pointed out to me that these days with consumer products, most things are usually okay. When you buy them, they usually work. I mean, you buy a car, it works. You buy a hard drive, it works. And if it doesn't, you take it back and they give you a new one. So really, all you can really complain about is misrepresentation, because the manufacturing quality seems to have improved with many things.
You'd hope so, of course, unless you're buying a Volkswagen. You talk about misrepresentation.
Well, yes, but that doesn't really affect the car. That's a regulatory thing. That's That's the
marketing.
No, that's the puppet masters ruining it for everyone. Really, that's what's going on there.
That's right. I agree with that. But I mean, it's sort of half of the shonky things I believe are in the marketing of the product, saying that they can do things which they can't particularly do. Not that they're necessarily products that are dangerous, although some might be. I think it's just living up to expectations and living up to the hype is the problem. With our case, with the Ben Spoon, of course, a lot of the things people win the award for are dangerous.
Well, what about you, Richard? Do you think that all you really can do is marketing claims now? The actual products themselves usually do work, generally.
Yeah, I think you're right. Usually they do work, but not always. A classic example of that was, and Choice Magazine followed the Australian Skeptics lead on this, Power Balance, the wristband. Now, when we exposed Power Balance in 2009, the very next year at the Shonkies, 2010, a Shonky was given to the Power Balance and just blasted it. It didn't work.
Well, as far as a rubber band that goes on your wrist goes, it works. So, again, it's the marketing claim of it that was the problem.
Yeah, all right, you got me there.
Yeah. You can go, this rubber band doesn't work on my wrist. Yeah, see?
When you're right, Maynard.
Jo, how are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you, Maynard.
It's pretty exciting here. Now, what do you think would be something that should be nominated or should perhaps get a Shonky in this 2015 year?
Ooh. Television. Network television.
What, reality shows or just the ads?
The whole lot. Is there a difference?
Over the past 10 years, we've honoured or dishonoured some of the biggest names in business. Apple,
The 2015
Amazon.
Shonky Award winners, or might we say losers. The National Australia Bank for their, in quotation marks, low-rate credit card. As official interest rates continue to go down, the rate on the NAB, the National Australia Bank's credit card, continued to go up. A Shonky for Arnott's Tiny Teddy's Biscuits, a sugary treat with hundreds and thousands. This confectionery was marketed to school kids with a canteen logo. Might be fun to eat, but it doesn't comply with the Australian dietary guidelines. A Shonky to so-called payday lenders. In other words, loan sharks. Another Shonky for the NanoSmart Laundry Ball. Now, this is a whiz-bang new technology sphere you throw into your laundry. You don't need to use laundry soap, and it washes your clothes. Well, it doesn't. For $50, using plain tap water would be better. Samsung won a Shonky for their top-loader washing machines that have a habit of bursting into flames. Choice Magazine was also concerned that Samsung hasn't done enough to alert the public and recall the defective machines. IKEA won a Shonky for advertising non-leather furniture as being leather. Coca-Cola came in for criticism for being behind a so-called health website. And finally, Kleenex, flushable wipes. You can flush them, but they don't disintegrate and can clog up your pipes. After the awards, Maynard caught up with some of the presenters and the people at Choice Magazine.
Because too often award shows are preoccupied with things like greatness and achievement.
Look, the awards are over, and that is some of the world-class pantomime. I was yelling out for more pantomime. In fact, you failed in the pantomime. There could have been more.
There could definitely be more. I think don't encourage them is my rule with Choice. If you give them the opportunity to do more pantomime, they will absolutely take the opportunity.
Now, for the listener, what was your favourite?
For me, I'd have to say, favourite isn't the word, but I think the behaviour of Samsung with the top loader is exceptionally poor. I don't know if it's favourite, but it's certainly... But in terms of ones that I found the most amusing, it has to be the washing balls with the nano ceramic balls. Like, you look at it and just go, what were you thinking?
Yeah. Well, the claim's outrageous, and the fact that anyone would actually fall for it.
I see.
And $50.
It's got the sort of weirdly aspirational quality to it. That's what I find fascinating. Like, you want to believe that sort of technology exists, and I think that's why it went on the market, is my theory anyway.
Is there something you could just share with us that you've actually fallen for recently where you perhaps shouldn't have, given your knowledge of the consumer area?
I've probably fallen victim to a couple of really bad techniques from real estate agents, and I think real estate agents in Sydney are particularly bad. I think that's probably... No, I don't want to go into specifics about it because I've got to... Really...
Oh, is it so you've paid more rent than you should have, or you've been forced into maybe signing a contract you should have, something like that maybe?
Maybe paid more for a house than I should have through some dodgy practices.
Well,
but,
join the queue for that one.
Yeah. But I think that's everyone in Sydney. But I think there was some pretty dodgy practices going on with real estate agents. But
look, there's a couple of relationships with women that usually haven't worked out for me. And basically, do you think I'm the one that should be recalled?
Possibly. I don't want to prejudge you as a human being, but you know what? No, I'm going to back myself. Yes, you should be recalled. Back to the U factory.
And a special mention. How come Volkswagen didn't get a special mention today?
I'd say Volkswagen is getting a shellacking on a global scale at the moment, far bigger than just Australia. And I'd say there's definitely going to be more to watch when it comes to the consumer activities of Volkswagen.
Look, I love the pantomime and I love the awards. It was great fun and well hosted today.
Oh, thank you. It's all Kate. I just smile. Kate's the real talent.
Well, look, I've got some washing to do. I'll see you later.
Don't use the bum wipes.
Look, as I mentioned, pantomime was big on me, and here's some of these shonkettes, the people that were on stage doing some of the pantomime. What was your favourite pantomime moment in the entire Shonky Awards ceremony?
Ooh, I quite enjoyed the teddy bears. I thought they were quite humorous.
Oh, yes. Just describe for the listener what went on there.
So we had some teddy bears in, like, teddy bear onesies, and they danced to the teddy bears picnic, and then they sprinkled hundreds and thousands on each other.
To indicate that Arnott's thought that was a really great thing to put in kids' lunches continuously, all the time.
Exactly.
Go ahead. And what was your favourite moment on stage?
I wasn't actually in the room at the time. I was out the back, but...
What happened? Were you not there the day they were handing out onesies?
I ordered all the onesies. I got the onesies. I would have to say probably the payday lenders, the sharks.
Yes.
Circling our poor 25-year-old.
Well, it's quite rare that a whole industry gets an award.
It is quite rare. Usually we pick one company, but we think that the entire industry is deserving of that award.
Well, Kate Brown, welcome to the Skeptic Zone.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, let the listeners know where we might have seen you.
Oh, you might have seen me on the checkout. I am the resident guilty mum and occasional reporter. I also have a good choice.
Now, what was your favourite one of all the 8 awards shonkies you gave there? Which is the one that really bit you the most?
Yeah, look, my favourite is the adult butt wipes that claim to be flushable. You know, I think it's kind of questionable that adults need butt wipes. A baby might need a wipe, but an adult, not sure. But the fact that they actually don't break down is pretty dodgy.
Completely non-biodegradable. I thought that would be some sort of fine for a company that did something like that to award away.
Yeah, look, they conduct their own testing that's industry-sponsored, you might be surprised to hear.
But I'm looking at a milkshake churner over there that's going one of those flushes, and you had it going for 24 hours, and it didn't degrade at all.
They didn't degrade at all. In fact, a few of them got a few little tears, which actually makes them even worse because they get caught on the snags in pipes. And a lot of people find out the first time these things aren't flushable when they get a $1,000 bill from their plumber. So not only does it ruin our waterways and our water services, the majority of these things get stuck on people's property, and that means you're liable for the bill.
Now, what about personally? Have you been caught out as a consumer recently and you think, I'm on a bloody show, I should know better than this, I'm a goose? Has that happened to you?
I get caught out all the time, especially with food, because I'm a parent and I'm always looking for an easy way out or a snack that will help stop my children screaming at me. And
so what sucked you in?
Yeah, look, tiny teddies who were there today. I've drunk the Kool-Aid and bought the tiny teddies. Cereals are another nightmare. Breakfast cereals.
Well, you look at the ingredients on the side of the box. You look at the fat, the trans fats and stuff, and it's not really all that helpful.
No, look, I've had third-year dietetics students tell me they can't read the labels.
Okay.
So if they can't do it, I think the rest of us aren't going to stand a chance.
Now, no one was here. None of these people were here. The NAB Bank wasn't here. The Kleenex people weren't here. Where are these people getting their awards? If I got an award, I'd turn up. I mean, look, I thought I'd get an award for my entire body of work with the ABC. It never turned up once. I didn't even get nominated. I feel slighted.
That's shocking. Look, they never turn up. It's very upsetting. But we might get some nice letters from them later in the week, and we might hear the screaming coming from the CBD any moment now.
You gave it an award to an entire category.
We did.
Payday loans.
Yeah, look, it was, we couldn't pick a winner. We tried to, and it's a pretty scary problem to have when you realise you actually can't single one out. We had to give it to the whole industry, and we've just seen some horrendous examples of loans compounding on loans, and loans for as little as $100, and being asked, do you need a holiday? Do you want to go shopping? Take out a payday loan.
At what sort of interest rates can they be at?
Ooh, look, off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I know if you miss a payment, you're really going to start compounding compounding almost immediately. And these are people, the main point is, these are people that probably shouldn't be taking out loans in the first place. They're going to these payday lenders because they can't get credit anywhere else.
Now, as far as the whole industry goes, you could give one to the entire fashion industry because it is something that, frankly, isn't needed at all.
Are you suggesting we all go nude, Maynard?
Well, I'm suggesting that we don't need something new every year.
Yeah, this is true.
Let's quote George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw said fashion is a manufactured epidemic, I believe he said.
In that case, I'm a serial offender.
Are you looking great then? That's fantastic.
Thank you. It comes with the job, unfortunately.
So the last warning for any consumers out there before they do anything, what should they do?
Oh, look, nothing is as it appears. Despite having good consumer laws in Australia, there are some massive gaps. So always check the fine print, do your homework, and don't believe everything the marketers tell you.
Well, based on that, you should have Tinder up there next year.
I'm going to write that down. Yeah.
Hello. And now who have we got here? We've got the big guns here. We've got a guy who's been emoting to the camera, he's been yelling, he's been screaming, you've been causing people to cry all over Redfern today.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, Maynard, the Shonkies just keep rolling on, now in their 10th year. And look, we just keep juicing. There are so many lemons out there. We'd love to end it, but we just can't.
Now, over 10 years, what's the best legal challenge you've had?
Look, so many companies try to sue us, but the fact is we're a science-based organisation. We deal in facts and research. So unfortunately, for them, we've never been successfully sued. And this year, the crop is huge. IKEA, Coca-Cola, Samsung, the list goes on. These are very, very dodgy offerings from some of the world's biggest companies.
Now, yes, because what you're saying isn't, you're not actually libeling them because you've got truth as a defence. Is that correct?
Well, that's right. Look, we deal in truth, Maynard. And the fact is that some of these big companies have been less than honest. They're dealing in dodgy fees, dubious marketing claims. Look, they're just downright slippery. And one thing's for sure, today, they're very shonky.
Can you pick one of the 8 that you find personally egregious? Let's use that word, egregious.
Look, I think flushable wipes from Kleenex is just unbelievable. Here's a company that's going out telling people to flush these things down the toilet. They disintegrate like toilet paper, when in actual fact, they do nothing of the sort. They just leave you with a big plumbing bill.
And you had a photo from a treatment plant of them all clogged up together.
Look, that's right. They're ruining the sewer system. There is no way consumers should be using these and flushing them down the toot.
Now, where can people go and have a look at the website and maybe vote on their favourite one this year?
Look, head to shonkies.com.au and see which lemon is your favourite.
I'm hoping to see Tinder up there next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
is that right?
Come on. I mean, there's some outrageous claims being made on that dating site.
I bet there is.
Look, I've seen yours there, and you are not as buffed as you. That's a Photoshop one of you.
Maynard, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I can do a quick one.
Alan, welcome to the Skeptic Zone. Now, what's your position again?
CEO of Choice.
Right, so you've got to meet a few lawyers after this show, haven't you?
I expect I'll get back and find an inbox full of letters from some of the big end of town threatening us with legal action and trying to stop us calling out what we think is shonky. The best response is truth. We're really careful about our facts. We're sure that all of these products and services and companies deserve to be called out as shonky, and that's good enough to stand up in court.
And what's the one that made you go, oh...
I think the biggest one for me is probably the payday lending industry, because it's an industry...
An entire industry in one go. What's the highest interest rate you saw them charging?
Oh, they can charge an effective interest rate of up to 240% per annum, and this is preying on people when they're at their most vulnerable.
Wow, okay. And any chance of, like, Tinder making it next year? Because there's a few shonky claims on there I've seen.
We haven't looked at Tinder, but I guess that's a case of buyer beware. Yeah, you should know what you're getting into.
Look, I'll let you go because you've got a lot of emails to read.
Absolutely. Thanks, Maynard.
Well, I've been speaking to a few people, but let's just see what Tim, it's all over now. First of all, Tim Mendham, what do you think of all these shonkies for 2015?
I was very moved by it, actually. I was very, very moved, especially by the video presentations and by the recipients being so excited to receive the awards. I especially like the laundry ball.
Yeah.
The laundry ball is a wonderful thing, actually. We've actually looked at the laundry ball years ago. I think one of our challenging coordinators looked at that, actually. It's nice to know it's still around, actually. It's a product with staying power.
Yeah. But look, when we think of laundry balls, I just thought the stuff at the $2 shop that basically goes in the dryer and just basically goes around the dryer and just tries to aerate things a bit. No.
This thing uses negative ion energies and all sorts of different energies and things to actually make your washing better. And apparently, it's almost as good as pure water.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I know. Amazing.
And only $50.
And only $50. I go. Then you've got to get another one. Eventually, I presume it'll run out of negative ions.
And Jo, what did you find about that? As a mother and someone who packs school lunches, I imagine the teddy bear thing would have been a big one for you, the teddy bear biscuit to put in the kids' lunches.
Indeed. It seems that Arnott's have been claiming that they're canteen approved. They're tiny teddy biscuits, and they're covered in hundreds of thousands. They're covered in chocolate. It's not healthy, come on.
But the kids would love them.
Oh, the kids do, but that's not the point.
And Richard, what did you make of that? There was a few there that you're pulling your face at a few there.
At a few. Laundry balls, Maynard. What can I say? The laundry balls for me were great because I've seen those before at the Royal Easter Show, in fact. People selling those laundry balls. And you know a shonk when you see one, and I was looking at a shonk.
Hello, Richard and all the listeners of Skeptic Zone. My name is Ran Levy, and I'm the producer and co-host of Curious Mind. It's a podcast about science, technology, and history at www.cmpod.net. Each episode will bring you interesting stories from a wide range of subjects, from physics to astronomy and medicine, from arts to science fiction. We strive for the highest production values both in content and in delivery. We already have on the air episodes about German U-boats in the Second World War, about the history of X-rays and the war of currents between Tesla and Edison. Come and have a listen. www.cmpod.net.
Welcome to Out and About with Jo and Maynard. We decided to investigate the fantastic adventure that is the wonderful world of kale. We saw it on the restaurant menu there and we thought, okay, we'll give this a go. I was completely prepared to be underwhelmed and I thought, hey, kale, that's the broccoli that's had the makeover.
It's been dolled up.
It's like the supermodel of the cabbage world. Wow. I was very sceptical about the whole kale thing.
I'm actually open to kale.
How did you find your kale experience? How was it done?
It was kale-erific. I don't feel particularly super after consuming a superfood. I feel mildly powerful.
After consuming a superfood, I don't seem to be able to have the ability to fly, but I do look slightly better in a cape.
You shake a pretty mean cape, Batman.
It's nothing. Give us a skinny on what you know and what you've heard about kale, Jo Alabaster.
Kale is often referred to as a superfood. It's also referred to as a fad.
And I think a piece of kale was once elected as a councillor up in the Northern Rivers. I think Councillor Kale passed a few motions.
Well, that is one of the claims that people make about kale, that it can help one pass motions, that it can prevent cancer, that it can prevent aging of the skin. It's one of those superfoods that's treated as a miracle cure-all.
In various parts of the world, it is actually used as a hat.
In Samoa, I believe.
I just made that up because people make up a lot of stuff about superfoods.
They do indeed.
What actually is in kale that is supposed to be so great? You've done some research about this.
Yes, I put on my lab coat and I read on the internet. It does have a lot of vitamin K. It's got a great deal of iron.
Look, the profile, it didn't have many friends.
I know, but I'd hit like on one of its pictures to cheer it up.
Good on ya. So what's its major thing? What is the one ingredient that's supposed to be the alleged magic bullet?
I'd say it would be the antioxidants which are purported to be in kale, and also the vitamin D. I'm not going to go with one, I'm going multiple.
I saw that in 100 grams, which seems like an awfully large amount of steamed and cooked kale, there's 700% of your daily recommended intake of vitamin K.
Which is curious because we don't necessarily need much vitamin K at all in our diet. What's actually happening inside our bodies is that our gut biome produces its own vitamin K. So we're manufacturing vitamin K in our own bodies, not our own cells, but the cells that live inside us. And this is actually why we have vitamin K shots for babies, because they don't have a gut biome established. Their guts are sterile.
Have you seen the stuff they put in their mouth? How could their gut possibly be sterile?
We're talking tiny babies who are just into breastfeeding. So
they haven't had time to start eating the carpet yet.
Not quite yet.
But as a culinary experience, overrated, underrated?
Kale cops a lot of flack. I can kind of see why. It's an acquired taste, I expect, like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, everything else in the brassica family to which kale belongs. I didn't mind it. I wouldn't go out of my way to eat it.
While we're recording this too, as you've noticed on the Skeptic Zone, there's a lot of background noises because it's done in non-studio situations. The Raw Skeptic, you've heard her apologising, which I don't really know why, for birds in the backyard and for children. And I don't think you have to apologise for that either, really. But I'd like to apologise for a few of the background noises we've got here. There's that cannon that keeps getting fired across the road. I'd like to apologise for that. And I'm really sorry about the chariot scene from Ben-Hur. I just wish those guys had just cut it out. It's really annoying. I've really got to apologise for Adam West.
It smells like a trap.
Shut up! I'll leave the last word for you. Jo Alabaster, how do you feel about kale as a culinary superfood?
As part of a balanced, nutritious diet, I'm absolutely pro-kale. But as a superfood, I've got to say that I'm a little skeptic-ale.
Now, gentlemen, I suggest we take a break.
Come on, Adam West, that was funny.
Welcome to A Week in Science from RiAus, bringing you the science you need to know. Are you sitting down listening to this? What do you think you're doing? Stand up quickly. What if we said that the amount that you sat down was a major health concern? There's a growing amount of research which is showing that the amount that you sit down can increase your risk of various medical problems, such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease. One study delved into the possible reason for this and found that the amount that people sat down altered the length of their telomeres, which are DNA caps on the end of your chromosomes. These telomeres shorten as you age, and sitting for more time leads to that shortening happening even faster, increasing your risk of age-related conditions. Now, I know what you're thinking. If you're sitting down and not exercising, you're possibly unfit and leading a poor lifestyle. But it's not quite that straightforward. In these studies, the amount of exercise didn't have any effect. It was purely the amount of sitting down time, and exercising didn't negate the effects of sitting. The effect is still seen in people who are otherwise fit, including runners. One suggestion is that while you're standing, your hamstrings and thigh muscles are working more than when you are sitting, and this small amount of constant work is what makes the difference. So if you want to stay healthy, try to reduce the amount of time you're sitting down, or stand up as often as you can. And now, 4 fast facts about stand-up work desks. Stand-up work desks were reportedly favoured by Leonardo da Vinci, Ernest Hemingway and Winston Churchill. Some of the earliest evidence of the health effects of sitting was in 1953 when a study showed bus conductors had a lower risk of heart attack than their sitting driver counterparts. Denmark has become the first country in the world to make it compulsory to offer employees the choice of a sitting or standing desk. And just remember, standing or frequent gentle exercise is not meant to replace vigorous exercise, but complement it in a healthy lifestyle. That's it for this Week in Science. For more information on the health effects of sitting, go to the RiAus website, riaus.org.au. Follow us on Twitter at RiAus and like us on Facebook. I'm Ben Lewis, and we'll catch you next week.
The Skeptic Magazine, the journal from Australian skeptics. Subscribe online to the world's second oldest skeptical magazine. Visit www.skeptics.com.au and click the publications link. You can also find there over 30 years of back issues free to download. The Skeptic, the magazine from Australian skeptics.
Here's Maynard's spooky action at a distance.
There's a lot of a lot of controversies in the world of skepticism, and one of the ones that I always get in trouble for is the whole gorilla skeptic thing. I think gorilla as in, but I'm with someone who actually knows the correct spelling of gorilla and would know how to edit it in anybody's diary underneath the bed when they invite their friends over late at night. Susan Gerbic, how are you?
Hi, Maynard.
Hey. Now, as a gorilla skeptic, how do you spell that version of gorilla?
We have two different spellings, Guerrella and Guerela. We spell it either way.
Which is the one that comes from the French meaning war?
I don't know. We can look it up. I know this site. Okay. We can look it up.
Actually, what is the biggest thing as a Wikipedia editor that you argue about? Because Wikipedia has little rules that the normal person falls foul of. In fact, Richard Saunders has successfully had me banned from Wikipedia by running foul of one of those rules.
I heard that.
He did. He actually put up a photo of me, and to give it the correct attribution, said it was from me. Now, we know that you're not supposed to do that on Wikipedia.
Well, photos are fine. You can put up photos.
Hang on, so I can put a photo of myself up on my own Wikipedia page?
Yes. Yes. In fact, we ask you to do that.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought you weren't allowed to do anything to your own Wikipedia page.
Well, a photo, you have to upload the photo because we don't have permission to upload a photo. The person who owns the photo uploads the photo. Oh. So I have a lot of photos on Wikipedia that I've taken. Oh, okay. Of myself even. Well, I didn't take the picture of myself, but you know what I mean. But yeah, you have to have the photo.
Oh, right.
You have to do it.
I thought you just had to drag around and find one that was in Creative Commons.
Well, no, of course not. Let's take a picture right now. We could upload it to Wikipedia in a couple minutes.
I've been uploading a few of them, believe you me. What do you think is the biggest challenge for someone who's starting out as a Wikipedia editor?
Getting in over their head. They take on a lot of responsibility that they shouldn't have. They try to do things that are on homeopathy, Scientology, Mormonism, astrology, or things that they are experts in. Because you can't have a primary source. And just because you may be right, you can't put that edit up there unless you have a citation that proves that you're right.
Okay. And obviously there's all sorts of things on Wikipedia. I mean, is there an entry for the ties of the Thompson twins, the band from the 80s?
You know, I think ABBA has a really great page, and Bananarama too, don't they?
See, well, obviously you haven't read it because this is actually a tie as worn in the Thompson twins' Hold Me Now film clip.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, I must.
Kings Road, Fiorucci, 1984.
I must get your autograph. Now I'm speechless.
Well, the thing that gets me is how does Wikipedia decide whether something's notable or not? I've heard a lot of bands getting in trouble because they've put their entry up there and the band isn't considered to be notable. Who makes a decision about what's notable to be on Wikipedia in the first place? How is that decided?
That's a terrific question. To be notable, you have to have secondary sources to prove your notability, because if anybody could put up a Wikipedia page, everybody would have a Wikipedia page, and it would just mean nothing.
Oh. So that means there's nothing on Wikipedia from before 1998.
No, there's quite a bit. But to be notable, you have to have secondary sources to prove your notability. Secondary sources are in reputable places like newspaper articles written about you, or you're interviewed showing you're notable. Somebody interviews you for a newspaper. That means that your opinion must be notable. So if you have enough of those, that proves your notability. So a band can't do it unless they've been it's not the content they create, it's the recognition by their peers, recognition by the media.
And if two Wikipedia editors disagree, how is the dispute resolved?
Rock, paper, scissors, I believe.
Oh, that's great. Although, hang on, online you can be cheating. I'd rock.
I think you have to be doing a Skype interview or something there is a talk page in the upper left-hand corner of every Wikipedia page. There's a little button called talk. You go to the talk page and you will be able to see discussions with real Wikipedia editors talking amongst themselves about the edits.
So I should get back on Wikipedia after Richard Saunders did that thing with me, shouldn't I?
You should definitely be on Wikipedia. But you're not going to be editing your own page.
Oh, but I can contribute selfie photos that I've taken after 2 a.m.
Well, if they have anything to do with pokey or that might be actually kind of interesting. So, yeah, those would probably be quite fine. Yeah, go ahead and try. That would be fine. That might be quite interesting.
Now, people are going to come along and perhaps get into the whole Wikipedia thing. A lot of people feel a bit daunted by it. Like myself, I would feel worried about running foul of these rules that I don't know about. I mean, you can be... being a newbie there, is it a fun thing? Is it like surfing? Do people drop in on you, chop you with the fin, that sort of thing?
Chop me with a fin?
That's when you're surfing a wave and someone drops in on you from above and goes across you. Because you're a newbie to the beach. A grommet, yeah.
Okay. No, well...
You should be able to tell by my statuesque and tan that I am a surfer.
It's the tie. I can't get my eyes off your tie.
Thompson Twins.
Thompson twin tie, yes. So, yes, new people coming into Wikipedia are often very intimidated, and we find that they don't want to... most people who are intimidated don't go to Wikipedia and edit. I train people to be editors who are intimidated.
And it's a place where women are a lot more welcome than other places on the net, isn't it? Because they can dish it back.
I wouldn't know. Yeah. We don't have anything to do with it.
There's never been issues like that there?
They have done surveys and talking about it, but we don't deal with it. In our world, at the GSOW project, we really have nothing to do with I have no idea how many people are women editors on my team. I have no idea how you would even evaluate that, because some people are if you just counted how many people were women and how many people are men, that's interesting. But which ones are doing the most editing? I mean, because it doesn't mean if they're just they're just an editor. And I think we need to be much more diverse than just male and female, because, how many are moms? How many are dads? How many are military? How many are grandparents? How many are retired this? How many are that? I think we're much more diverse than just our sexual organs.
And where are you taking the sexual organs and the rest of you while you're here in Australia?
I'm going to be here...
Because I assume they all go together in the same place.
I'm here in Sydney for a little bit longer. Then I'm going to go to Brisbane. Ooh. And then I'm going to be speaking to the Hong Kong Skeptics in Hong Kong, that is. Isn't that great? Yeah. What a coincidence. They will happen to be in Hong Kong at the same time that they're...
Look, the Hong Kong Skeptics used to meet in Thailand, but it was a hell of a Saturday night.
It was a long commute. And then I'm going to be speaking in China for one day. And then I'm going to be back in San Francisco at the end of the month.
Wow. And you live in the area of San Francisco where the rent's really expensive?
It is very expensive where I live. I'm 2 hours south of San Francisco, right on the water, in Salinas, California.
Wow, okay. Is that an area that's got does it catch fire in summer like parts of California do?
It's very near that. We're in earthquake territory. We have earthquakes. We're right by the Loma Prieta quake. When the big one comes, I'm going to be right there getting oceanfront property, because my home is very near the quake zone. So when California falls into the ocean, my rates should go way up. I should be able to get some really good...
Well, you enjoy your trip here in Australia. We'll probably talk again on Sunday when you're giving your chat to everybody. And where can people find out more about the project and get involved?
Well, we ask them to go to our YouTube channel, and I won't give you the URL because we want people who are capable of doing research to actually find the URLs and to go. And we ask them to go to the YouTube channel, listen to some interviews by my different editors, find out if this is the kind of project that they want to be participating in, because we know this isn't for everyone. And we want to make sure that we attract people who are prepared to be here, to know that they're going to be going through quite a bit of training, and that they're going to be with me for years.
Look, you enjoy your time, and I think you'll find more than enough people that want to sign up here in Australia.
Well, I'm counting on it. If not, I think you just promised something, didn't you?
Yeah, I promised that there's going to be some action, and a lot of it's going to be based around this Thompson Twins tie.
That and Pokey. Where's Pokey?
Well, of course, Wikipedia is a pretty special thing. We've got Susan Gerbic here telling us how you can do your bit of skepticism on Wikipedia. My opinion of Wikipedia is that it's like a public toilet. It's only as good as the last person who used it. But what do you think of Wikipedia? Do you trust it? Do you use it?
I think it's a good reference source for information that I know nothing about.
Do you think you'd ever have a go at editing it, or do you think there's all these little editing quirks of it that you need to know before you can really dive in there?
No, I haven't had a go at editing. I did make a donation to it when they prompted me to last year.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, Jo Alabaster, do you regularly use Wikipedia, and how much do you trust it?
I do regularly use Wikipedia. I'm a skeptic. I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm cautious. Generally, if I'm trying to find information that I'm going to rely upon, rather than just something I'm curious about and etc., I'll generally read the citations. I'll go down, I'll look at the sources and see where people are getting their information from, the editors. But I found Wikipedia editors to be of a quite high standard, actually.
And what's the strangest Wikipedia page you might have come across? Because you've looked at a few strange ones in your time. We all have.
Oh, I have. Recently, there's been everything to do with orgone energy, which actually led me to reading Hawkwind's Wikipedia page, and that was a bit strange for me.
Yes, so as far as your use of Wikipedia goes, do you find it as a reliable source? Is it something you go to, or it just tends to come up first in Google?
Oh, it definitely tends to come up first in Google. As for it being reliable, I'll tend to use it for, I suppose, what could be known as popular culture.
Okay.
But nothing academic or particularly serious or medical.
Boys to Men, Haircut 100, Thompson Twins, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, and do you check the citations when they're there just to make sure they might be right, or you'd rather go to a more learned source?
Oh, well, if it's as I said, popular culture, and they make a reference to something, I might click through on a citation to get to an article, to get even more dirt and gossip and lurid stuff.
Okay, right, yeah, well, thank you. And look up the Thompson Twins, because I'm wearing their tie.
Oh, I have the Thompson Twins on my, what do I call it, Walkman.
Oh, good. Not your Discman, your cassette Walkman. The one with the orange headphones.
The one with the orange headphones. No, actually a digital Walkman.
Wow.
They make them digital now, but definitely have Thompson Twins. And let me admire your tie.
And then flip it over. It's Fiorucci, Kings Road, 1984.
Oh, top of the trees.
Aranza Gev here. A big night tonight. Lots of people wanting to know all about Wikipedia. As far as Wikipedia goes yourself, is it something you use, and do you trust it as a source?
I use it a lot.
Yeah.
I tend to trust it as a source, although I keep my eyes open for flags, because there are things that you could sometimes find wrong. But you have to remember that the rules of Wikipedia are generally the kind of rules that skeptics would impose on themselves and on others in terms of how do you get things right. Which means, for example, people are not allowed to edit their own pages. That's one example. Another thing is that everything needs to be referenced. There is some power in the fact that it's crowdsourced. Obviously, some risks in there, but there's a power in that. What you will see, for example, Scientology. Okay, so, it's a well-known story how every time they tried to edit their own pages and try to put things in there, but the masses keep changing it back until now. The people who are known to be Scientology supporters are not actually allowed to edit that page. They're actually blocked by Wikimedia Foundation. So there are a lot of rules in there, a lot of systems in place to make sure that what appears there is correct and true. So I think generally for major pages, I tend to trust it. For more obscure ones, where like you can look at the history page or the history of the page, you see that it hasn't been edited a lot. Basically, somebody put something in there, and that's just the way it is. That tends to be less reliable. Definitely anything scientific tends to be very good. But overall, it's a fantastic project. And there was research done a few years ago, not very long, I think 2 or 3 years ago, where they compared Wikipedia articles to equivalent articles. I think it's the Britannica Online. And I can't remember what the other one was. So they compared it to other sources of general information.
Perhaps World Book or something like that.
No, it was something, the CIA World Book, perhaps. I don't remember. But compared that, one of them was Britannica. I don't remember what the other one was. But the thing is, that what they found was that the accuracy level was higher on Wikipedia than it was with Britannica. And, everybody was surprised by that. But I'm not hugely surprised because of the mechanisms around how these pages are created.
Okay, cool. And is it the kind of thing you get in and do yourself, or you haven't got time for that sort of aggravation?
No, I have things like, work and family and the skeptics, and so...
Yeah, you're pretty busy there. Okay, Ren, thanks.
Thanks.
Now, of course, if you're asking about Wikipedia, you've got to ask an editor here. We've got Tim, the editor of the Skeptical Kahootie, the magazine.
Hi there, yeah. It's great to be here.
Now, when you are not doing your editing and you're reading it, how do you find Wikipedia as an editor reading it? And do you think it's reliable?
I think I like the concept for a start. I like the concept of an interactive, in a way, ongoing, readily updated. If you had an old copy of Encyclopedia Britannica which got updated every 20 years, there were things which weren't quite relevant. As to how accurate they are, I think, again, the concept is there's supposed to be people who are constantly reviewing it and fixing up errors and that sort of thing. Now, there are errors in Britannica, right? So, nothing's error-free. So I do use it. I use it as a starting point, and I've got a section of the magazine which is all about weird associations, things going around in a circle, one thing connects to the other. That's mainly from Wikipedia, because the nice thing about Wikipedia, you can click on all the links, and you go on to the next thing and the next thing. I think Someone once said to me that life should end up being like Wikipedia with all these links in your mind. You just click on each one and you move around wherever you want to move. I like the idea. I like the accessibility of it. Obviously, I've got a 15-year-old son. Be lost without Wikipedia to do the essays and things, basically.
Right, yeah.
I don't know how much further he goes than that. So, yeah, there's a danger that it's going to be inaccurate because the people who are writing are not necessarily complete experts in the field. But if it is self-correcting over a period of time, yeah, I can't see why not, quite frankly.
It's funny, I was reading it this afternoon, and for some reason it's really sticky in my head. Like, I was reading about UN Security Council Resolution 1497 in 2003 about the intervention in Liberia, which was a Chapter 7 intervention, which means they can actually shoot people, which the UN don't do very often. That stuck in my head. Now, if I'd gone to learn that, there's no way. I don't know why that stuck in my head. Why is Wiki so sticky?
Wiki sticky? I don't know. Because there it's a media for you. I mean, what you can't get is the flip through the pages idea. Although they throw up these little, thought of the day sort of thing. But you can't, like you can with a book, with encyclopedia, printed encyclopedia, you can flip through the pages and say, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. You can find different things.
Do you check the citations as an editor when you're looking at something?
Some of the time, yes, some of the time, I must admit. Not all the time, but I do. If I really need it, and I really need to know that this is accurate, I go back to the citation, as long as there's still live links and that sort of thing, which is always an issue. But what I do like most about Wikipedia is the links, the little highlighted hot links sort of things in there, hyperlinks in there, which I can just move from one place to another.
And then it's 10 o'clock, time to go to bed.
10 o'clock in the morning, time to go to bed, yeah, exactly. That I find fun, because I like trying to find connections between things, obscure, weird connections.
Look, do you think you'd ever have time to do that on the online version of the magazine? Do you reckon you'd ever have time to do that, or that would just be far too time-consuming?
It'd be fun to do. I think it's probably something that we need to think about quite seriously, moving into the e-age, or the age which is way beyond print, etc., and the e-magazine sort of concept, where you look at most e-magazines, they have very minimal content, and everything's links to videos and that sort of thing, YouTube clips, whatever. I tend to being an old journalist, I like long articles, feature articles that have a lot of in-depth information, rather than snippets.
Oh, right. Now, you don't seem to have recognised this tie I'm wearing was worn by a member of the Thompson twins in one of their clips, and I've been sort of trying to point to, and I thought, obviously you'd be a man that would be into that. If you're into Wiki, I'm sure the Thompson twins fashion wardrobe has its own entry.
Why were there 3 Thompson twins in the band? And one of them was black. Well, how did they get to be twins?
Very diverse family.
Very diverse family.
A Brady Bunch type experience, perhaps.
There was... Absolutely, yes. There was a tall one and there was a short one.
And a New Zealander.
And a New Zealander. Not that I can remember many songs, just the one big hit was a stand by...
Hold Me Down.
Hold Me Down, thanks. That's all right. Sorry, remember it very well.
Hey, Heidi.
Oh, hi, Jo.
Hi, Heidi.
Oh, hi, Maynard.
Hi, Maynard.
Oh, hi, Jo.
Nice day in this park, yeah?
Yes, great weather.
Oh, look, a unicorn.
A unicorn? There are no such things as unicorns, silly.
Yes, there are.
No, there isn't.
Hey, ladies, what are you arguing about?
Jo thinks unicorns are real.
They so are.
Let's look this up in the Skeptics Dictionary.
The what?
How can we do that in this park? There are no computers here.
You ladies probably don't know about the Skeptics Dictionary app, available now for iPhone, iPad and iPod Touch in the App Store.
Yeah, we do. We've been listening to the Skeptic Zone for years, you know.
Yes, okay. The app lets you access all the great Skeptics Dictionary articles when you're on the go. Here, let me look up unicorns.
Oh, cool. Heidi, prepare to be proven wrong.
It says here the unicorn is a creature from fables.
Aha!
Actually, I see now that someone just dumped their ice cream cone on that horse's head.
Thanks, Skeptic Dictionary iPhone app.
That's just some guy in his undies.
Thank you for listening to the Skeptic Zone while we ate all the last of the biscuits. What a great episode. Thank you for your report on the superfood, you two.
Yeah, look, kale, what a challenge.
Indeed.
And all those people making noises around my house, I couldn't believe it. I was just trying to keep them quiet. They wouldn't shut up.
They never do.
Oh, boy. And everybody's geared up for the big weekend next weekend, Richard, aren't we?
We are indeed. We can't wait to see all the Skeptic Zone fans at the Australian Skeptics National Convention.
Have we mentioned that we have a table?
We have. I think I did on an episode or two ago. Yes, the Australian Skeptics National Convention, you can meet the Skeptic Zone at the Skeptic Zone table. You can come and have a chat, be interviewed, and we'll also have some merchandise.
We will indeed. Some very special merchandise.
Look, I'm going to try and find some old Maynard books to flog.
Yeah, Dag, your guide to Dag, right?
Yeah, look, and if I can't find that, I'm just going to get an old John Grisham novel and say it's mine.
That's a good idea. We're looking forward to meeting you at the Australian Skeptics National Convention. It promises to be a wonderful weekend.
Right. And look, have a look at Maynard.com.au because there's actually a few videos of me and Richard there having some fun at Maynard International Studios.
Doing the old Periscope. And in fact, I think we'll be doing some Periscoping from the convention as well.
So you can catch Jo at the table.
And I might even say something in the microphone. No, I was actually thinking of setting up a microphone so I could interview you if you have any questions for Skeptic Zone reporters or producers or hosts who happen to be the same person. We'd welcome your questions. We can record them, we can take them home, and we can answer them later.
And for a small fee, you can have your photograph taken with us. No, it's all right. It's all free.
Well, I'm going to get packing because I've got lots of stupid suits to try and get into a suitcase to try and steal onto a flight.
I think you should. And it's about time we left the Shonkies because all the biscuits are gone, the coffee's gone, and the cakes have gone. It's time for us to go too. So until next week, this has been Richard Saunders,
Maynard,
and Jo,
signing off from Sydney, Australia. You've been listening to the Skeptic Zone podcast. Visit our website at www.skepticzone.tv for contacts, an archive of all episodes since 2008, and our online store. Please support the Skeptic Zone by following us on Twitter @SkepticZone, liking us on Facebook, and leaving a review on iTunes. You can also show your support by subscribing via PayPal for as little as 99 cents a week. The Skeptic Zone is an independent production. The views and opinions expressed on the Skeptic Zone are not necessarily those of Australian Skeptics Inc. or any other skeptical organisation.